What's up, YouTube? Are you looking for a realistic gold farm? It's not an exploit. You're not going to be able to just go click an item and tons of gold's going to drop out. You need to actually play the game. Now, what you'll see is a lot of guides out there will show you one dungeon with one run that'll take you 3 to 5 minutes. They then divide that into 60 minutes and they say, yep, you're going to get 20 to 30 million gold per hour. Well, realistically, in between dungeons, there's going to be load times. There's going to be times where you teleport back to the city to vendor your gear. There's going to be times where you can do these events inside the dungeons. You're going to get cursed shrines. You're going to get cursed chests. So realistically, the way that you can make gold in this game, anywhere between 10 to 15 million gold per hour, well, this is the guide for you. This dungeon is Alderwood. In a previous video, I did a nightmare dungeon run of this, and I've been trying to find ways to efficiently farm gold because now that I'm at the end game, I need to roll my gear so that I get the best rolls on my gear, and that gets expensive very quickly. So what I've done here is I've condensed 60 minutes worth of footage, so that's exactly 1 hour. In this footage, that's going to include the time between load screens, so when you're teleporting back to the city, when you're leaving the game to reset the dungeon. This is a solo gold farm, so if you're in a party, you'll be able to do this by simply leaving the dungeon, swapping party leader, resetting the dungeon, which will save the login and log out times. You'll also farm the gold quicker if you're in a party as well. However, this is purely a solo gold farm. What you'll find with this dungeon is when you teleport back to the main city, the vendor's really close to the teleport, so you don't have to run halfway across the city map just to empty out your bags with the gear that you found. The other positives to this run as well is there's plenty of events inside the dungeon, which means you're going to get orbals as well for at the question mark treasure bag on your map. You're going to be able to gamble for gear. So what you want to do in this run, you want to go into Alderwood. There's 2 sections to the map, section 1, section 2. You want to clear out the sections fully all together. You want to clear the whole map out because it's packed full of elites. It's packed full of cursed shrines. It's packed full of events. Now, if you want to speed your gold per hour, just ignore the cursed shrines. Just ignore the events. They do slow you down. However, I prefer to do them because this is a fairly laid back, chill farm. I'm doing this farm fairly quickly whilst doing every single event that I run into, just to show you in the footage of how much gold you can make in 1 hour. The other thing as well is it does cut into that hour gold time by teleporting back to the city, waiting for a load screen, then going and vendoring your gear, then going back to the portal, loading back into the dungeon. Then when you finish the dungeon, you've got to then log out of the game. You've got to log back in. So the reason why I did a full 60-minute worth of footage for you is to show you a realistic gold farm where you're going to make 10 million plus gold per hour consistently. You're also going to find heaps of legendaries. You're going to find uniques as well. You're going to find tons of ancestral gear depending on what level you are. I'm at level 96, 97 in this footage. So with this Alderwood dungeon, as I mentioned earlier, it's kind of 2 maps together and they're in a figure 8. So the way to optimally do this is you just go through, you clear the whole section of the dungeon, and you go through and you just chase down the elite packs. I wouldn't waste your time on the normal mobs. There's plenty of elite packs in this dungeon where you're going to get tons of loot, you're going to get tons of yellows, you're going to get tons of gems. In this run, I ended up with just a little over 10 million at the end of the 60 minutes, which included doing the cursed shrines. I have done this run without the cursed shrines and without the cursed chests where I've just skipped them all together, and I've managed to squeeze in another 2 to 3 runs. So these runs will take you roughly 3, maybe 4 minutes tops to run every single time you do it if you're just ignoring the mini events, which means you're going to run out with over 1 million. So your inventory should be full at the end of every single run, unless you get really unlucky, which you shouldn't, because there's tons of elite packs and there's tons of elite packs. There's tons of items. There's tons of gold that'll drop on the floor. So what you'll end up doing is you'll end up filling your backpack. So if you get unlucky, it doesn't matter. The runs don't take you that long. So what you should be doing, going into the dungeon, clearing all the mobs, killing all the elites. Now, what will slow you down as well is if you're chasing specific chase gear for your build, it's worth actually checking your inventory at the end of each run and just seeing if there's any items in your backpack there which are going to be beneficial to your build. Now, the build I'm running at the moment is a Storm Werewolf build. Most of the items that I've got on my gear are almost best in slot. I've got everything that I need. I've got the best imprints except for the imprint on my neck piece. You'll see at the end of every run if I pick up like a pair of gloves or a weapon or an amulet or something. I'm looking for a better dire wolf for my amulet, which I just recently found. I got lucky with the amulet. It's got +3 end and +3 all defensive skills. I actually kind of got a bit funny in the pants when that dropped. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe I was this lucky. So, but if you want to do this run, you want to do it quickly, you want to just get through, you just want to farm gold specifically, you don't need to worry about checking every piece of gear. Just fill your backpack up, teleport out of the dungeon, teleport back to the main city, quickly run over to the vendor, empty out your backpack, jump back into the dungeon. So this is a realistic video guide of actually where you're going to make 10 million plus gold per hour. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot of money when really it's not. As the way Diablo 4 is right now, it gets really expensive to actually re-roll your gear at higher levels. Like my amulet right now, I'm trying to roll higher cooldown reduction. I've only got 8%, I think, at the moment, which can roll up to about 15 or 16 from memory. I'm already at 2.5 million gold per roll. So almost a full hour of running this is going to get me maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6 actual rolls on that one item. So you find the gold commodity is actually really important in endgame, specifically for when you do get the chase gear that you're looking for and you're wanting to optimize that item perfectly for when you start pushing higher end nightmare dungeons. So now in this footage here, we're almost at the 1 hour mark. I've already pretty much hit the 10 million gold. What we're going to do at the end of this last run is we're going to, all those orbals that we found by doing the events, we're going to go trade that in for some gear. We're going to get to 10 million gold per hour. And honestly, this dungeon, Alderwood, is hands down the best for this. It's an easy dungeon. The mechanics are super straightforward. The mobs inside are really easy to locate. There's no backtracking whatsoever. You can do this dungeon from start to finish. You can just do it over and over and over again, logging in, logging out of the game, resetting the dungeon, getting tons of gear, and you're going to make a ton of gold doing this as well. So Alderwood once again comes up as the MVP for making gold in this game. I'm shocked by how much gold you can make per hour doing this run. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. This is a full hour's worth of footage to show you exactly how much gold you can make per hour without any exploits, without any glitches, just playing the game, enjoying yourself, getting experience. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Look at that, 12 million gold, exactly 10 mil we made. Peace out, legends. Have a beautiful evening.